Hi, I'm KJ. I'm an interior designer from Mumbai, and today I'm taking you through a process that is thoroughly enjoyed by every client. I'm going to be taking you through the design process of a kid's bedroom. Now let's look at the floor plan of the kid's bedroom that we are to design. This bedroom is a part of a 2 BHK. I've already done the living room and the bedroom design for this flat in a couple of older videos, and I'm going to link it below for those of you who are interested. Now, what is it that I would like to accomplish in this video? One is that I'm going to take an empty kid's bedroom and create a good solid plan. This video is going to give you some insight as to how you should go about creating a good furniture layout with maximum space utilization. So number two is that I'm going to fill it up with everything from Ikea. So think of it like going to the Ikea store for some furniture shopping for your kid's bedroom. Now, of course, these are just ideas that can be mixed and matched with furniture pieces from other brands. It's basically to show you my favorite picks from Ikea for a kid's bedroom, and you may choose the ones that work for you the best. Like always, my goal in this video is to offer practical ideas which will be relevant for a few years to come. The third thing that I'd like to accomplish in this video is that I would like the space to be gender neutral and age neutral, and let me elaborate how. So if you think that the end result will be inspired by a very heavy theme like Frozen or Strawberry Cupcake or Cars, then I'm sorry to disappoint you, but things change, time flies, kids grow, and they may not enjoy something that they were obsessed with a couple of years ago. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying don't do a theme, because suppose if your kid really likes something, as a parent, you would obviously want to happily give in to providing everything your child needs. But I would say, don't do it in a way that it's fixed. Basically, something that's easy to change. For example, since we're speaking of furniture today, don't buy a bed in the shape of a car or a ship or a flower or a cloud, because if your kid outgrows it, you will have to change the entire bed. But if you have the budget to change it every now and then it's absolutely fine. But the problem is, what if the space is shared by two kids? They may have different tastes, belong to different age groups or different genders. And imagine what a khichdi it would be if you have a Frozen inspired ceiling with a football theme in the same space. But what if I tell you this? Provide a space for your kids to showcase their interests. Then even if it's a mix of things, the space will feel very personal and not some theme park. So what this basically means that a Frozen figurine here can perfectly coexist with a football poster there, and it will not only coexist together in harmony but also add a lot of character to the space. So in conclusion, create a space that can adapt to the changes in your kids' tastes and refrain from doing things which are permanent and difficult to change later on unless you have very deep pockets. So the fourth thing that I'd like to establish in the video is to create a space that will free up a lot of floor space to accommodate a play zone. And the fifth thing is, how much would all of it cost? So I'm going to help you pick some ready-made furniture pieces, and I'll also tell you what each of it costs, especially for people who do not want to go down the custom carpentry route. Before you step out for furniture shopping, the first step that you should never skip is create a good solid layout. Now, sometimes the space just dictates to you where certain furniture pieces need to be. And this floor plan is telling you right off that the wardrobe has to be against this wall. Now, I've obviously checked if it was possible to put it against the other two walls, and I found some potential problems that may disturb the flow of the layout. I've assumed that the space is going to be occupied by two kids. But even if you have one kid, it would be a smart thing to design the space as per two, because it should be comfortable enough if you have a sleepover or a play date. And when you have guests, because this is a 2 BHK, the kids' bedroom is most likely going to be used as a guest bedroom, which is all the more reason for you to design the space as per two occupants. So let's place the bed first, followed by the study. Now, like I mentioned earlier, when needed, the space should be versatile enough to free up floor space for creating a play zone. But you can see that there's hardly any floor space left after you put in the furniture, which is why it would be better to use a sofa bed which can be pulled out for sleeping and pushed in during the day. For the study table, I plan to use a drop leaf kind of table which can be folded up and down. So one table for each kid. The next thing is the study chairs which are foldable. Now I've got an idea where you can park the folded chairs. I will show that to you in a bit. Now let's talk about the wardrobe. I'm going to go for this one with sliding shutters. Now of course you can get the internals of the wardrobe customized on the Ikea website. Since the wardrobe is going to be used by kids predominantly, I would lower the hanging rail for easy access, and you can add or subtract and configure the internals as per your needs. The reason I did not go for a hinge shutter is because there is not enough comfortable space between the sofa and the wardrobe to open the shutter, step back and access the wardrobe. It is doable but tight. Now the depth and the height of this wardrobe is the maximum available on the Ikea website. The wall against which I need to put it is 2.3 meter wide and the wardrobe is 2 meter wide. Now instead of starting from against the wall, I'll shift it on the right and place the wardrobe from the door side, and that way an empty corner gets created on the other end. Now this little corner can be used to our advantage for using it as a space to park the folded chairs. Now coming back to how you can free up floor space, I would like to throw some light on this as spaces are getting smaller and smaller, and I personally think that there is value in creating a multifunctional space that can be used as an activity zone or a fun zone. Now let me give you an example. Back in the day when I was a kid, I used to love dancing and I would participate in these cultural events in school, and it would require me to come back home and practice, for which I would need quite a bit of floor space. Now I'm sure it's quite relatable even today, and besides this, free floor space can also be used for various other activities like games or arts and crafts, etc. etc. So you can see that if you push in the bed, fold the table, fold the chairs and park it in the corner, and you'll get quite a bit of floor space, and so you can go from this to this. And why waste the space above it? You can place these shelves with these hooks below it. You can hang small bags or caps without it being in your face all the time. This corner is 30 centimeter wide. The shelf I found is 30 centimeter deep and can exactly fit in here if placed with its side facing front. It is 50 centimeter wide, and the wardrobe being 60 centimeters deep, there will be a 10 centimeter offset, but I think that's good because you won't see the shelves so prominently. Now, there is also some empty space above the wardrobe, and IKEA has many options of storage boxes which can be placed above the wardrobe, but make sure you opt for ones with a lid, because high up there, whatever you store in open boxes, it's going to attract a lot of dust. Now, in an ideal situation, it would be better if you can get the wardrobe customized to cover every inch of space on that wall, because it will hide a lot of the clutter. But if, say, this is a rented space, or you're in a situation where you have to buy ready-made furniture for whatever reason, then I hope I've given you some ideas of how you can go about doing the same. Now let's go back to the study. The table is a drop leaf kind, which means it is intended for you to fold it after use. Even if you leave the table open with the chairs out, there's sufficient circulation space between the bed and the table. Now I'm all for getting things that suit your lifestyle, so you don't have to buy something only because it's trending or I'm telling you to do so. But of course, if this doesn't suit your lifestyle, you should buy a fixed table. But by introducing something like this, which can be folded up, you are simply creating avenues for your kids to create free floor space for getting on with their fun activities. Now, if you see, there's an empty space on the right of the table, and I thought it would be good to introduce a storage unit like this, which can be used for books or other stationery things. Now, I absolutely love that this chest of drawers is red in color, because it'll add the right amount of pop that clients usually request for the kids' bedroom. Now, the printer can be placed on top of the storage unit, but I have a small suggestion here, is that it would be better if you could place the printer in a common space like the living room, as printers these days anyway can be operated via Wi-Fi. Now, this can achieve two things. One is that the printer can be accessed by all, and two, it will control overprinting by the kids, as we all know that if they are intrigued by this process of printing, they have a tendency to print pages after pages, mindlessly wasting ink and paper. Now when the study table is folded, there is a small ledge which can be used to place a few things here and there, but it's not a lot of space. So you can use something like this that can be put up against the wall and off the table for organizing all the stationery stuff. Now you can see that there's quite a bit of wall space above the bed, and that can be used for creating a book wall. So these bookshelves are of a shallow depth, which means that you have to place the books in a way that the cover page of the book is visible. And what this apparently does is that it encourages the kids to pick up a book, thereby inculcating this habit of reading. Now these bookshelves are so versatile because along with the books, you can also use it to showcase toys or posters or art, which can really add a lot of character to the space. Kids usually find it very difficult to reach for things which are at a height. So this is going to be very handy for accessing things in the wardrobe or the memo board. When you have empty wall space like this, you can use it to showcase things that interest your kid. When you're on the sofa, you can use this as a bedside table, and I've chosen this specifically because it can be used as a stool while you're using the dresser. So this brings us to the end of this episode, which I had a lot of fun creating. And you can see that I've created a space which is gender neutral and age neutral, which can adapt to the changes in your kids' tastes. And because kids have stuff like stationery, books, toys, etc., which will as it is bring in a lot of color to this space, I've been mindful while selecting furniture pieces which are not very jarring. So thank you for watching the video till the end, and I hope you like the overall aesthetic and the use of the space. And I would really like to know which of these ideas excited you the most.